Hey guys, it's Leah with RetireWise, and I'm here talking with Shawn and Todd today. We're going to be going over a few different topics, concerns around outliving your money and annuities. So we'll just go ahead and dive right in with our first question for Shawn. What are the biggest reasons retirees worry about outliving their money, and how can they start addressing those fears?
Great question. It's the thing we hear the most. It's the number one fear out there when people talk about retirement is, am I going to outlive my money? Well, one of the reasons is we're not all, but most of us are living longer, right? The lifespan for the average person in America now is a lot longer than it used to be. And so with that many more years tagged on to our retirement, we're no longer planning for retirement for 10 or 15 years. We're planning retirements that are 20, 30 years old, 23, 20, we're planning for retirement that are 20 or 30 years long, right? So when we're planning for retirement that's 30 years long, there's a lot of factors that we got to factor into that longevity plan. So how do we make that stretch out and last, right? Well, it goes back again to the right plan, but you got to have an income plan, right? Not just how am I going to draw down my money? It's what accounts are you going to take them out of? But here's the key. What kind of accounts are you going to have? There's not a single investment or retirement account out there that can solve all the different risks for retirement. It takes a multitude of different accounts, right? So mapping in the right different type of accounts, so you got to be diversified vertically. It's what I call diversification vertically, is the different types of accounts, just not what you're invested in horizontally. All that together plays into your roadmap of different kind of investments, different kind of products and things that can give you that income that you don't have to worry about where's my check coming from, right? You have it mapped out. You look down, it's on the plan, you can figure out where it's coming from. And it's going to be a personalized plan for you, because Leah's plan is going to be different than my plan, and it's going to be different than Todd's plan, right? But it's mapping it out and being diversified vertically and horizontally, meaning the different types of accounts that you have as well.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. That was great. I know that's a big concern for a lot of people.
Most definitely.
All right, Todd, how do annuities work as a solution for creating guaranteed income throughout retirement?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what we like to do is we like to have a plan. Like Shawn was talking about earlier, is the major concern is people outliving their money. Mm-hmm. So what we like to do is have a plan. It depends on where you're at. Each plan is different. We can be in the accumulation stage or what we call the protection stage. So depending on where you're at, it locks down a guarantee. So depending on your age, depending on your plan, we design you as a plan that you won't outlive, and it's not at risk in the market. So we protect your money. What do you think, Shawn?
Yeah, it's that word, the part there as far as giving you that retirement paycheck, right? And those annuity sides of it are one play. It's one of the tools in the arsenal for that income. Leah's question that she asked me earlier, that's part of the thing, is that guaranteed paycheck for life is key, right? Now, generally, all your funds don't go into that, so it's usually a makeup of different things. That goes to the diversification I was talking about this way, right? So Todd talked about one of the tools or one of those accounts. So you may have an annuity that sits there that's jumping off that income for you that covers some base needs, and then you may have an IRA or brokerage account. These different things are invested in the right kind of retirement strategies for other purposes. So it's this mix-up of ingredients that goes into that bowl, right, that makes up that income. Mm-hmm. But all those things together helps contribute to that longevity. But that guarantee of the paycheck, because what are we doing in a retirement plan? We're generating your paycheck, right? A retirement paycheck, and that's could be critical, utilizing that kind of tool to generate that paycheck. It's one of the tools.
Yeah, great answers, yeah. All right, Shawn, what are some strategies that can help retirees stretch their savings and maintain their lifestyle for 20 or 30 years?
Yeah, so everybody loves this answer that I'm about to give. If you've never budgeted before, right, you probably want to for retirement, okay? And sometimes budgeting is a dirty word for people, right? And it doesn't have to be restrictive. It can actually be kind of freeing, because if you know where your money's going, you kind of have that roadmap again, right? You know where your money's going, and you kind of keep track of that. And some people do it on a regular basis, right? You're tracking, you're seeing where your money's going. But if you don't know where it's going, all of a sudden you have this discretionary money going out the door. And when you're in retirement, you're a little bit on a fixed income, right? You got income being generated from the different investment accounts. But if you spend more than you anticipated for that month, then it's going to affect you down the road. You do that too many times. Now we're talking about a longevity problem, right? We just drew too much down out of our accounts. And now I'm getting into year 20 and I'm going, uh-oh, right? And so you want to have that right balance, right? You want to be able to enjoy life and enjoy your lifestyle, but map it out a little bit. It doesn't have to be restrictive. It's not putting handcuffs on you, but budgeting is a key thing to figure out where your money's going, Am I spending the right amounts? And hey, you factor in, you budget in the fun, right? I'm not saying don't have fun, but you got to know where it's going.
So Shawn, let me ask you something.
100%.
In talking about that, is it ever too late? I mean, when should you start? I mean, I hear people say, man, I've screwed up. I'm 55 years old. I mean, is that too old?
No, not at all. That's a great question. So we get asked that a lot, right? Because now I love seeing people that start when they're young, because you can put less aside, it's less sacrificial, and you get good habits young. But here's the thing, most people put this stuff off time and time again, right? Oh, I got time to do that. I got time to do that. And you keep on saying that, before you know it, you're 50 years old and you're going, oh man.
I don't have the time.
I don't have the time anymore. But it's never too late to start, because if you don't, then we're just going to adjust your plan. We're going to come up with a different plan because you're starting at 50 versus starting at 30.
Gotcha.
But you still got to have that roadmap. You still got to have that plan. And if you've never budgeted before, that's okay. It's okay. Don't be scared. we can help you out.
We
right?
love that too. Great answer. No, I love that. All right, Todd, are there different types of annuities, and how can someone choose the right one based on their retirement goals?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good question. Once again, your retirement plan is designed especially for you. It's not one size fits all. And annuities are the same way. I mean, there's tons of different annuities. So we need to know where you're at in your retirement, what your specific goals are. Are we in making income? Are we trying to protect it? So there's hundreds of different annuities, and we would sit down, look at your individual plan, draw you out a map, and figure out which one fits your needs.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's key right there, is what fits your needs, right? Because like Todd just said, there's all kinds of different flavors of this, right? We're going to the Baskin-Robbins store, and there's 32 flavors, more than 32 flavors.
Sure.
But they serve different purposes, and you may need one, you may not need one, you may need more than one. It really depends on what your situation is. And to your point, there's so many different blades in that knife to pop open to see what they need to solve. Like you mentioned, protection or income, it could be accumulation. It's just really what's right for them.
Right.
And whether you need one or not. Yeah. You may need one, I may not, right? How does it fit in your plan?
Absolutely, that was great. All right, another big question here. How can a retiree balance spending for today while still ensuring they have enough for later years and unexpected costs?
Yeah, so I love that. Going back to what I said earlier, is people saving early. When you're starting younger and saving earlier, the earlier you can start, the better, right? Because you're getting into that mindset of, okay, I'm going to chunk out a certain amount of percent towards saving every month. That's just part of your budget. Getting back to that budgeting, right? Mm-hmm. Is you're going to carve out a little section of that budget to go into that. Maybe you're saving it for a house. Maybe you're saving it for retirement. And I get that a lot too. It's like, well, I'm saving it for all these different things. I'm saving it for college. I'm saving it for a house. That's great. Well, we're going to carve out another little save for retirement, right? And it may start off really small, folks. It may start off this small, and then after you buy that house, then you increase it a little bit. You pay for that college, and it increases a little bit, right? It's that constant adapting of your lifestyle. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Good word, reallocation. It's just as life happens, right? Life's going to happen. Just like when we put a retirement plan together, life happens. These are living, breathing plans. Your budgets, your savings throughout is going to adjust. Your income's going to change over your lifetime. So that it's an evolving process. Mm-hmm. Obviously, enjoy life and have fun, but let's think about the future. You want to enjoy your retirement too. You want to have fun in retirement and do whatever it is that means to you. So make that a priority to save for your retirement. So you're doing the same things. You're enjoying that lifestyle, in retirement. So you're carrying that lifestyle through retirement, not just, I got to retirement, now I got to sit on my couch all day.
Sure. Yeah. That would be no fun.
No. Great answer. I love that. All right. What role can annuities play in supplementing other sources of income like Social Security and pensions?
Yeah, that's a good question. So what I like about the annuities and so what I call it is just another bucket. So it's just another source. You're talking about you have Social Security, that's one source of income. Mm-hmm. You may have a pension, that's one source of income. Yeah. Those could change depending upon the market, depending on your age, depending on when you take the money out. With an annuity, once we give you a plan and we tell you what it's going to be, it doesn't change. It's a fixed amount, and I think it just gives you another bucket of security.
100%. Good word.
Yeah, for
Good
sure.
word.
All right. All right, Shawn, what's your advice for retirees who want confidence that their money will last as long as they do?
So it's going to be a broken record, right? You got to know where you're going, right? You got to know where you're sitting and where you're going, and having that roadmap, that retirement GPS to tell you where you're going from point A to point B. Because life's going to throw you curveballs. How many times have you gone on a trip and traffic got in your way, right?
Always.
Right?
Yesterday.
Right? And all of a sudden GPS goes, whoop, I'm going to send you this way, right? Well, guess what, folks? Sometimes life gets a little exciting and you might get a little detours, little speed bumps, a little construction on your way. You're going to have that in retirement as well. But that doesn't matter if you have the plan in place. And we call that retirement GPS thing, right? Because you're going along and you're going to have to pivot sometimes. But you have that confidence when you have it written out and you know where I'm going, and and you say, okay, well, this just happened. Great, I got this in place because if this happens, right? It's that roadmap. How many times do you want to put stuff together? I mean, I hate putting stuff together anymore. Like, get this long list of instructions to put things together. Well, when you're putting things together, it tells you do this and this step and this step. It's instructions. Why do you want to leave your retirement to chance, right? You want to have, I want to get from point A to point B, not to be too cliche, but we don't want to get you just to retirement. We want to get you all the way through it, right? And life's going to throw those curveballs. So having that plan in place, it's going to give you a sense of confidence just to know, hey, I want to enjoy my retirement. If something happens, I'm going to go back to my plan, see what it says, talk to my advisor and see where we need to go. That you have that arsenal, those different arrows in the quiver, tools in the toolbox to get you from point A to point B.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you
That's
for that.
good.
Yeah. All right, Todd. Are there any downsides or risks to annuities that retirees should be aware of before making a decision?
No, I feel like that like Shawn says, they're an arrow in the quiver. I mean, it's a good arrow to have. It's a good part of your retirement. Talk to one of us and let's make sure that we're putting you in the right one. And make sure it meets the need, that we have it allocated properly, that we know what your need is. We don't want to just put you in an annuity and then you need the money next week. So there's a time and a place for it, and you want to pick the right one. And once again, it depends on what your needs are, and everybody's is different.
Yeah, 100%. That's a good word, because it's what your need is, not just what you read on the internet somewhere or read in a book or whatever it is. Because what you mentioned earlier about all the different flavors, right? All the different types. Yeah. I mean, that's critical to figure out what's right for you.
Absolutely, for sure. All right. How do you help clients factor longevity into their retirement plans and manage this very real concern?
Yeah, so let's put a little bow on all of it, right? That longevity piece. We're living longer. We need to stretch our money out. We got market volatility. We got taxes. We got medical bills. We got all this stuff that's coming at us, 90 miles an hour when we're sitting there talking about retirement. So we have all these things coming at us. Well, you're going, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be enjoying a retirement. I got all this stuff coming at me, right? So it's putting all that in context. Is just making sure you have all that inventoried. Here's the things that a lot of people don't think about, all these different steps or all these different things in retirement. The two biggest things I see people making a mistake on when it comes to longevity is, one, not really having a plan in place for the market volatility.
Absolutely.
Right? Not having the right strategies in place for market volatility. It could be several different types of accounts to help you get through that, whether it's annuities, whether it's investment accounts, IRAs, different retirement strategy, investment strategies to get you through that. That's one, is the market volatility. Because if you're taking money out, here's the thing, folks, your money acts different in retirement than it does in your working years. Okay?
Absolutely.
And why? You're taking money out, you're not putting money in anymore, right? So guess what? When you're taking money out in a market that's going down, it has a compounding effect the opposite direction, right? That's one of the biggest risks I see people don't account for properly, is they're taking money out of accounts that are going down. Well, guess what? If you have multiple different kind of accounts, here's that vertical diversification again, right? You don't take money out of those accounts when they're going down. That sounds a little complex, and I don't want to get too deep there, but it just, talk to us and let's figure out what that means for you. Right, because when that market's going down, we're going to take it from somewhere else, right? So the market volatility. The other thing is, people don't put enough weight in the medical side of things, right? We don't want to think about medical, right? But we're aging, our bodies are going to age, we're going to need medical care. Hopefully you don't need a lot, right? But whether it's just regular medical care stuff down the road as we get older, or whether it's long-term care, it has to be factored for. The average American right now, as of the date of this recording, spends $172,000 a year, or excuse me, $172,000 in their retirement, not a year, in their retirement. So that's over $300,000 for a couple, right? For medical, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot. Now, if you had to take $300,000 out of your nest egg, that could be devastating to the longevity of your plan.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's figure out the medical side. And there's different ways to solve for that, right? So those are the two biggest things. There's a lot of factors into all that, but those two things alone really start talking about longevity. Those are two killers to longevity, I should say.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure. Yeah, that's great.
And that's part of your plan.
Oh,
You're gonna
100%.
put that in the plan.
Like, if you don't have those two things in your plan, then I'm telling you ain't got a full plan.
Yeah. All right.
Very true. All right, closing out with Todd here. Can you share a story where an annuity helped a client feel more secure about their financial future?
Absolutely, absolutely. A while back, I had a business partner, and his mother was in the market, and it was just, as Shawn was talking about, it was a downward turn. The lady was 64 years old, fixing to retire. She had, high 6 digits in the market. The market turned overnight, and she lost her retirement. Now she had to work till she was 75. Luckily, she had part of her retirement in an annuity, and so that money was protected. She didn't make any money during that downturn,
Yeah.
but she didn't lose a penny on that part of the puzzle.
Yeah.
So, we just have to have a plan, like Shawn said. If we set it up right, then we don't risk someone having to work through their golden years. I mean, so this lady was unable to retire and not enjoy herself because she didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that is all I had for you guys. Thank you so much for all that. That was super helpful. So be sure to tune in next time for more questions and answers on how to retire wise.